internet's roar. I know nothing about the Power Rangers, but there was a sword with like a face, and I wanted to play with it. Apparently it's a super detailed Power Ranger sword. A little close shave. What?
He talks. It's a sentient sword.
Shut your face. Alright, we're done with that. There's a reason I never watched Power Rangers. And that was everything. Now, we got some comical books to review. This is the F3G2. Wow, I almost had the first flashback from like ever and was about to call it fic.
Haven't done that in a while.
This is F3G2. That is a telephone in the distance, or a really weird bird. Maybe one of those ones like in the rainforest that imitate car alarms and chainsaws. Probably just a phone. Anywho, let's start with some Rebirth. DC Comics Rebirth. Superman and Action Comics. Actually, just says Superman Action Comics. It doesn't say in. Alright, so Superman is dead. Long live all the Supermen. Why am I yawning? I think I yawn. I think it's psychosomatic. I get back here, I yawn now. Superman Action Comics. So they show Superboy in his costume, Jonathan Kent Superboy. This is good. I wonder sometimes, though, about some of the choices DC makes. Like, okay, I'm happy with this. I don't give a fuck about anything else. It's the real Superman. So I'm good. I'm good. What I don't know is why they did it the way they did it, where they killed the other Superman, and now everybody's like, oh, because now we've got... All I wanted was not to have this replacement Superman. I just wanted the real Superman. Now we got the real Superman, but in continuity, everybody thinks of him as the replacement Superman. And I'm like, God damn it.
No!
God damn it. It's like, I get Ted back, and he gets to mentor Jaime, but as far as the in continuity is concerned, Jaime is the first Blue Beetle. There was never Ted in a Blue Beetle costume. There was never Dan Garrett with a scarab. These kind of things make me wonder, why did they think it was simpler to try and shove 75 years worth of discarded continuity into the 5 years of New 52 continuity, when it would have been so much easier to try and work 5 years of New 52 continuity into these 75 years of existing DC continuity. This is good. Lex trying to do all the right things for all the wrong reasons, and vice versa. It's like pure Lex. Clark is alive. We don't know why. Not Superman Clark. There's another Clark. Everybody's like, the hell? So apparently we just have a plethora of Kents. And all in all, this was good. But like I said, it just seems like an odd way to go about it. This very interesting recruitment issue, and the official in continuity revelation. I think it's been like this before, but it hasn't been for a while. Yada yada yada. That Bruce Wayne and Kathy Jane are cousins, which I believe they were before. But if they're cousins, it does beg the question then, why did Bruce not get moved to go live? If he had relatives, why did he live his whole life lonely with Alfred? And everyone's like, oh, he's got an aunt and uncle. Fuck it.
Yay!
Leave him with the butler. They got a giant house. He might want to run away and study abroad.
Or 2, or 40.
Not that kind of broad.
Because he didn't.
No, he was too busy. He was focused. He was the focus. So they recruit their team. And I almost don't hate Azrael. I always hated Azrael. I almost don't hate Azrael in his brief little appearance in here. He's not actually part of the team. But I think, and I hope that this would be the case, and they did it right, even though Tim Drake is is my second favorite Robin. First favorite Robin is Damian Wayne. But even though Tim Drake is in this, and so is my favorite Batgirl, Stephanie Brown, in this still spoiler. My favorite member of this team, we got somebody is using Batman gadgets to spy on all the vigilantes in Gotham. Batman finds it out. People think it's him. Batman's like, no, it's not me. Who the fuck is doing this? We're going to find out in the story called Enter the Batman, and there's some badass looking bat soldiers running around working for we don't know who yet. But so Batman decides, you know what, we're gonna prep. We're gonna prep some of these Gotham warriors the best that we can. So he puts together, you know, he and Batwoman are gonna be the mom and dad of this little Bat family, and they get Orphan, otherwise known as Cassandra Cain. They get Stephanie Brown, spoiler. They get Tim Drake, Red Robin, in a costume that doesn't suck for the first time since the New 52 started. And then they get Clayface. And it works out that the Clayface, Basil Karlo, the actor Clayface that turns into the giant goo shape-shifty Clayface, is like the best thing in this book. And I so hoped he would be. And I haven't felt this happy since this is like filling the void in my heart ever since. Remember when Sandman, the Spider-Man villain, was an Avenger and he went good for a while, and then they decided, let's just make him evil again. This fills the void that was left. I liked good guy Sandman. I liked good guy Juggernaut as a member of the X-Men. I like when these things happen. I like Venom in the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I don't like the even concept of Venom as a character. So that's a sore spot with me, because there are so many great Spider-Man villains, and Venom was just this sucky thumbprint of the 90s getting all over my stuff. You know, even though she started in like the 80s, but he's basically that whole, teeth and tongue and saliva and blah. And then they made all the other ones, and somehow everyone's like, my favorite Spider-Man. No. Norman Osborn is standing right there going, yeah, I beat the entire Marvel Universe and was in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. What did Venom do? Oh, he drooled on shit. Fuck you. But I digress. Frequently. Flash Rebirth. We get to relive some of the best moments of the DC Rebirth one-shot. We get a look at the new status quo. We get Barry and Wally, and a kickoff for where things are going, and I'm happy. This is good. This is good. Aquaman Rebirth. Other than the fact that really, I really liked the scales. Maybe it's because I like symmetry. I like things that are even. I think that it's a cool concept that he's wearing this like kind of seabed rock looking thing, but I don't think that works as well. Scales giving him that fish look works for a guy who lives under the sea better than the rock look. Doesn't really, rock seems too rigid versus something that that's a guy whose name means fluid, so whatevs. But Mira's still cooler than Aquaman. Aquaman is still torn between land, sea, royal obligation and superheroic obligation and political obligation and personal obligation. Mira tries chowder, pretends to like it, and Black Manta is still out to be all Black Manta-y. This is good. Wonder Woman Rebirth. There's also people on the computers who were less than happy. I really liked it. It starts right off with her remembering her origin the way it originally was, her origin the way it was changed in the New 52, and realizing that there's something going on. That both sort of exist, and she's really at the heart of like that whole rebirth idea of you know, the melding of these things, which is exactly why I say is my one problem with the Superman one, was it didn't do that. It said, here's this distinct Superman and that distinct Superman. This is saying, look, Wonder Woman is kind of a mix of both, and she's trying to figure out who she actually is. And there's a story behind that in continuity. And that's cool. I like that. I dug it. Wacky Raceland. I'm going to go with good, not great. I like the way it looks. I like the way it goes. I'm not in love with it. But I'm willing to give it a few more issues to hook me in. This was a lot of, introduction and setup. Great little backup story for their version of what's his face? Of Lazy Luke and Blubber Bear. Because you forget that in the Wacky Races, there were a lot of those almost like, well, it was Hanna-Barbera, and on the one hand, you had characters that were, it was really more in that, like, Yogi Bear vein than it was in, like, Hanna-Barbera's, like, Scooby-Doo vein. And they kind of mix it. Apparently, they haven't said anything in here unless I missed it, but apparently there is a reference coming up at some point, or maybe it's just something that the writers decided, I don't know, but I did read in an interview that within this this distant apocalypse, far future, that Muttley is in fact descendant of Scooby-Doo. And that's cool. But yeah, you've got like a perfect post-apocalyptic anthill mob. Sergeant Blast and Private Meekley have been tweaked to be in here. I do remember the converter car, but I didn't remember that the one who drove it was Professor Pat Pending.
Mm-hmm.
Red Baron is in the Crimson Haybaler. The Slag Brothers have their Boulder Mobile. They were like actual cavemen in the other thing. Peter Perfect and Turbo Terrific. The cars are sentient. That was beautiful. So it's not just. It's ultimately. What's the way to put it? It's Mad Max meets Death Race meets.
Sounds like Knight Rider.
Knight Rider. Is what it is. And the characters are pulled like, she wakes up, Penelope Pitstop wakes up having, she was somewhere else in a more, says Island of Aegina, final moments before people were plucked out of the end of the world and pulled to be in this race. And that's cool. So, yeah, I liked it. It has much potential. I'm going to give it another couple issues to fall in love with it. Darth Vader. God, I hate those fucking robots. Empress. Issue 3. Continues to be great. It's Stuart Eminem's art is just gorgeous because it's Stuart Eminem's art. It's inked by Wade Von Grawbadger, which is fun to say because I wish my name was Wade Von Grawbadger. I would be a comic book villain, not a comic book inker.
Wade Von Grawbadger. Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'd be
Now
like,
die.
I'd be like killing James Bond and shit. But this is like a little bit Buck Rogers, a little bit Flash Gordon. More Flash Gordon. Let's go. It's a little bit Flash Gordon, a little bit Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Grizzly Shark versus Sea Bear. I think Sea Bear got a bum deal. But it doesn't matter because the whole thing's funny as fuck. So, read that. Green Lantern Corps, Edge of Oblivion, number 6, is over. And it ends with, oh, will they survive? But we know that they make it back. So, and apparently, some of the characters we thought were dead may not be as dead as we thought, because the thing we thought killed them might actually have been the way home. So, we could be seeing, Aricia and Badig before time is up.
Badge. Badge.
Yeah, Badig. B apostrophe DJ. Bidig. I care that he's a badger. Because he's not a badger. He was like a squirrel or some shit.
Yeah, and then Chip was the chipmunk.
Yeah. But, it's got Guy Gardner, so by default I have to like it. But it was confusing. Apparently when they decided to do this, literally they just didn't bother paying attention to anything that happened in the technical first half of this. I don't know why they did any of this. Because Simon Baz is with them, but he wasn't originally. He was on Earth still while all that was happening, but suddenly he's in another dimension, in another time before our universe began. The pre-knowing what they would become versions of Relic and what's his face? The guy that invents the Green Lantern rings and travels through time and
Yeah.
whatever. Well, whatever. They just completely left them out, and all of this just seemed like none of this really. There was no real weight to any of this. It felt like everything that was building in the first series that they canceled. Oh no, we're gonna cancel, and that was my favorite Green Lantern book. So I'm a little bitter, but whatever. Kaiju Max Season 2. Brother versus brother. Shit gets real. People pay some serious prices. We literally get an example of why they refer to the humans as squishers. I wonder what pay rate you get to be the parole officer of a kaiju on probation.
Not enough.
Clearly not. Some fantastic artwork, some great storytelling as always. Andrew Cannon's Kaiju Max is my favorite fucking thing. I recommend it to everyone. I made Rick have to reorder more trades for the store because it sold out, because I keep recommending it to everyone. Howard the Duck number 8, The Return of Bev. This was so good. Not only do we get the return of Bev in such a great way, and a little hint that there could be more of Bev to come and some great stuff, but this leads into the next issue that they've been talking about online, in which at the end Aunt May tells Howard that there's a very special client waiting, and he's like, ooh, special, that means rich. But who walks in and needs to hire Howard the Duck? Leah Thompson. As Leah Thompson. They actually worked it out with her, and she's the special guest star for it. It's like, my name's Leah Thompson, and I need your help to find a missing person. Myself. And Aunt May's like, you can tell she's an actor. What a great dramatic pause. And the Robo-Cat is just like, Biggs no care. Pet Biggs now. Because now we get proof of what cats are thinking. The Fix. I love the Nick Spencer, Steve Lieber, Ryan Hill, just heist gone bad stories. This is so good. It's that all too familiar tale of someone who does an actress who started out as on the he finally got the detail that he wanted, the sweet detail of guarding this celebrity chick who used to be on like a Nickelodeon Disney Channel kind of show and is now a rock star, a sort of actress who's mostly famous for being famous and for getting into trouble because, as it points out, just such a beautiful commentary on society today. They talk about and the industry is more than happy to oblige. If you took these photos in your basement, you'd be going to jail. Take them for Rolling Stone, you just saved the publishing industry. Biggest selling issue of the year. By a lot. I'm talking about children groomed by multi-billion-dollar corporations to someday give us something to jerk off to. Alright? And they have this whole conversation about her, and at one point they go on and they have all sorts of scathing on the like they talk about how it gets to the point where they start countdown clocks till the Barely comes off of legal, and how anytime you see a little bit of skin, it's like everybody goes nuts. But then when they're finally old enough that they can do this for real, we turn on them. So the whole time that they're good kids, we act like we want to see, see their wild side. And then when the wild side comes on, here it is. See, those first few years, every little flash of skin or teasing smile is like a release on a pressure valve. But once it's out there in the open, once it's allowed, we turn on them. And it's so true, and we've seen it with countless, and of course, in this, things go ridiculously badly, because that's the way these stories are. But Merry Men #1. This book was so good. Merry Men #1. This is the story of Robin Hood and his merry men. They're all gay. They're all just gay out in the woods. Some of them because they truly enjoy it. Some of them a little more by necessity because they're out in the woods with no other options. But the idea is based on the fact that history is often suspected that Richard the Lionheart was gay. Heck, they did that in what's my wife's favorite movie? One of them that I bought for her forever ago. It's based on a play. I have the book. I bought her that too. Lion in Winter. Lion in Winter, where young Hannibal Lecter plays plays Richard the Lionheart. He's gay. So in this, we haven't even gotten up to Richard the Lionheart, but Robin and Lil Jon are a couple. Arthur a Bland and Alan a Dale are a couple. Alan's a minstrel, so that makes sense. And then everyone thought this was Maid Marian on the cover. No, that's Will Scarlet, who in this was born Will, just wants to be Scarlet, and is medieval trans. And other than that, it's the Robin Hood It's just a little more, Maid Marian not going to play the role that she once played. So good. They're getting dragged into the fight against Prince John, or more specifically against the sheriff at this point, that they really don't feel, they're not trying to recruit people, they're not trying to be an army, they're just out there because they're trying to not get killed, and now they're on their way to becoming legends. All new X-Men, in which, see this is what goes on. In there, they're buddies. Kid Genesis, or Kid Apocalypse, Genesis, Kid Apocalypse, and Young Apocalypse are like pals, but Apocalypse's dad is a dick. And now it's worrying Genesis even more, because he's like, all this time I thought I was fighting against being Apocalypse, and I was trying to be the best person, but it turns out Young Apocalypse was everything I want to be, and he still became Apocalypse, so what fucking chance do I have? And Beast has a really bad day. Harrow County. Just because they're accepted your witchery and are friends with you doesn't mean they're not fucking scared of you. Also, scarecrows are creepy as fuck. And all of Harrow County itself, even the ground, is just spooky magic. So New Avengers, Civil War 2. See, everybody's looking at AIM like they're going to be bad, and in S.H.I.E.L.D. it's just full of corruption, as always. And Roberto da Costa just wants to save the world and do it in style. And the New Avengers aren't sure that they want to have any of it. Or at least, the artist formerly known as Wiccan isn't sure he wants to have anything to do with it. Everybody else, they're pretty okay with whatever's going on. Continues to be good. Spidey spends a day. We find out that because Spidey owns the Baxter building now, Human Torch just hangs out there like Spidey told him he could, but he sleeps in Spidey's room. He also sleeps in the nude, and his reason is he's like, how does he so delicately put it? Because this is Christos Gage, and I love Christos Gage, so that's why I bought this, even though I wasn't sure I was gonna. I'm hot-natured. It's the only way I can sleep. He's like, take that pillow off your junk. I put my head on that. It's like, fine, you're the one with body-shaming issues, not me. It's like, yes, I have many, many issues. So if you could get dressed or flame on or something. It's like, man, you're such a, why? You are such a prude. And this is, just the nude and semi-nude antics of Peter Parker and Johnny Storm.
Well, I'm just thinking back to the one shot where they lived together.
Yeah. Then Ulysses is there to kind of show off his... And they prevent a murder, so Spidey's thinking it's good to act on your stuff. We prevented a murder. If we'd gotten there any later, the guy would have been dead, but we got there because you knew it was going to happen. But then the guy meets some of Peter's staff, including Harry and Clayton, and Harry's like... And he's like, what's his face? Ulysses is like, dude, that guy is going to go nuts and put on a costume and become you. And Peter's like, oh, Harry, you doing so good? And he goes, no, not that guy. The other one, because Clayton Cole was humbug in that, one of the 0.1, 0.2, 14.1, 15.1, Amazing Spidey kind of spin-offs or whatever. And he's been working for Peter, but apparently something's going to happen. But now where does it become self-fulfilling prophecy? You're told this guy's going to do it. If you just go after him for becoming a criminal that he hasn't become yet, or re-becoming a criminal that he hasn't re-become yet, are you not, in fact, forcing him to re-become that? So, again, issues. Legends of Tomorrow. Metamorpho continues to be good. Metal Men continues to be awesome. And Firestorm continues to just make me so happy. They got everybody involved now. They got Jason Rush. They got Professor Stein. And they got Ronnie Raymond. All not merging into fight, but all on the go, so we could get a Firestorm that could be any combo of them by the time this is over. The Metal Men introduced a new Metal Men because Professor wouldn't turn them over to the military, so the military makes their own. Lithium, the lightest metal, used frequently in batteries. Call me magnesium, I can burn with a brilliant white light. I'm silicon, the second most abundant element in Earth's crust. I answer to zirconium, and I'm as tough as I need to be. Monica's aluminum, third most abundant element. Anybody got a problem with that? And copper, ductile, malleable, and boy am I conductive. So what's up? So there's your new Metal Men that are going to face off against the original Metal Men. And I hope some of them I'd like them to just become a giant team of all Metal Men. Because I like these other guys. And Copper has been, or a version of Copper has been a Metal Man before. Not this version, who looks just like the woman who invented them, whereas Gold looks just like Will Magnum. And the lady in charge, the military woman who's in charge of trying to capture all the other Metal Men, is like, why does she look like you? She doesn't look anything like me. And she's like, oh, great. She's no less crazy than Magnum was. So that's fun. But of course, the continuing best story is Sugar and Spike. This time they're hunting down whatever happened to Itty, the little flower alien, or as they keep calling it, sushi alien, that used to sit on Green Lantern's shoulder in like the 60s. Weavers, this book I forgot that I even ordered and continues to be great. Swallow the Spider. That's so awesome. This is issue number 2. Continuing the sign of forget Spider-Man's radioactive spider. There's a couple possibilities that they go through for the origin of these powers, but these spiders are like funnel web spiders that were experimented on, or something went horribly wrong, and now they kind of weave these funnel webs that alter reality and give you different powers based on what they feel as a community. They're all linked through the web, through the weave. You become whatever they feel you need. And when one dies, the spider crawls out of their mouth and goes into a new host. The group that has them happens to be like organized crime enhanced by these damn spiders. So our boy is new on the inside, has his own agenda, but is being semi-controlled by the spider that's kind of forcing him to do more than he wants to do. And it's really, 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 really good. Daredevil, final book I'm going to review today, number 8. Blind Man's Bluff starts now, and it's literally Blind Man's Bluff. He's playing in a casino, and the cards are covered with a slick coating to keep them from fading and wearing. But that slick coating is enough that even with his enhanced senses, he can't read. Normally, he can read things based on he can feel just the slight variation in ink, and he can see what the picture is. He can't on these cards, so he's literally bluffing his way and being forced to just read everybody else based on heart rates and tells and things. But ultimately, to win this tournament, you have to beat a telepath. The telepath has the ability that he can get inside your eyes and lock through your senses. So what he does is once he locks into one of your senses, for example, he can see through your eyes. He can't do it on Daredevil because Daredevil ain't seeing through his eyes. And when he tries to read Daredevil's mind, Daredevil's been trained for that kind of stuff, and they have they're playing cards and having a fight in the mental plane at the same time. So it's good. It's kicking off. Next issue we'll have Spidey. Boom. That's it. Love you, Twix.
Thanks for watching another video from Gonna Geek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com. Like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek. Tweet us at GonnaGeek. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/GonnaGeek. And check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.